Hey everyone, thank you for clicking on my video. Just do me a favor and leave a like, comment, or subscribe, and I would just make my day. So you might be noticing I'm doing my video a little differently this time, and that would be for two reasons. One, I just want to see how a voiceover effect would work. I want to see if it would work better than my just gameplay commentary. One, because I can just collect my thoughts better. And two, because I actually have a lot to say. So, what kind of channel do I want this to be? What kind of videos am I gonna post? What kind of environment do I want it to be? Well, I can tell you right now, I want this to be a Guilty Gear Strive focused channel. For now. I think it's just a fantastic game. A lot of people call it simple, and compared to a lot of fighting games, I can see where they're coming from. It doesn't have flashy 80-hit touch of death combos, but it does have a style that I love, and just the characters look so amazing. I feel like the Roman cancel system gives the gameplay a lot more creativity than people give it credit for, and I just want to make a channel that focuses on that game, and not necessarily in like a professional way. Like, I'm going to get as good as I can, but at the moment I just am barely a Celestial. I obviously want to get better. That's another reason I created the channel, is that if I'm posting videos, that means I'm playing, and if I'm playing, I'm getting better. As for what kind of videos I'm going to be making, it's majority going to be online matches. Right now I do a lot of ranked matches, but if the channel gets more of a following, maybe there will be more people who will want to just face me one-on-one. I would love that, for people to just comment and saying, hey, I'd really like to fight you, and then hey, maybe we can get messages going and just get some fights going in the park. I would love that. You might have also noticed that in all of my videos so far, I play Potemkin, and yes, Potemkin is obviously my main. I will be playing other characters in the future. I've played a few matches with Ramlethal before, and I've been practicing. I've been toying with Nago Ryuki a little bit in the training mode. He's fun, but I can't take him into any matches yet. But yes, there will be other characters that I will play in the future. Potemkin is my main, and I've played him since the beta, and even though I've made it to Celestial, I still feel I'm not where I want to be with him yet. Because I want to just get better with him, I kind of stray away from playing other characters, even though I know playing other characters will teach me the matchup better, and I'll be able to fight against them better as a Potemkin player. And you know, if someone wanted me to play another character, I'd be perfectly fine with that. All I'd want them to do is just comment saying, hey, I'd love to see you play this character, and yeah, I'll put in the time in training mode, see what I can do to learn them, because that's what I really want to do, is I want to create an environment that's just really chill, where it's not like the professional scene, where it's like, whoa, I've seen this guy in 3 tournaments, even though I'd like to go to tournaments in the future, but I'm just not there yet. But yeah, my goal is to create just a very casual scene for Guilty Gear Strive, because I've seen a lot of just comments on Reddit and posts on Facebook even, where it's like, Guilty Gear Strive is my first fighting game ever. And I can see that because people have called it simple. So where do you go for your first fighting game? Well, something that other people call simple, and that looks stylish as hell and has an awesome heavy metal soundtrack. Like, there's a lot in Strive that can lure in new people to fighting games. And my goal is to kind of give those new people something to watch, where it's like, oh wow, if you watch a video of someone at a high-level international tournament, it'll just seem like they're playing a different game completely. But you watch someone like me who has barely scraped by to get to Celestial, And, it just seems more attainable in a way. And of course, if anyone had any questions on how to play the game, or if something in the game is confusing them, or how to do a combo, I just want them to comment. I'd love to create videos answering people's questions, like what's a really common misunderstanding about a game mechanic. I'd love to make a video to make things clear. So, upload Guilty Gear Strive stuff, create a more casual community, and be more interactive with my comments are my general set of goals here. Am I going to upload different fighting games to the channel? Yes, but probably when it gets more of a following. Speaking of other fighting games, we have all heard the Street Fighter 6 announcement, and even though it's not Guilty Gear Strive content, I still want to talk about it because it's a fighting game. I'm way too excited to keep it to myself. And there is a question that comes from this announcement, and that's, where does that leave Guilty Gear Strive? I think Guilty Gear Strive is going to be safe for quite a while, and there's a few reasons why. For one, Street Fighter 6 is still quite a far ways away. It has to be late 2023 at least. Probably like December 2023 at least. That is a AAA game. It is the newest Street Fighter. So yeah, it's gonna take, they have a lot to build up to. So it's gonna take a while for it to come out, even after the announcement. So I would say we won't even be seeing it for another year and a half at least. Secondly, I feel that Guilty Gear Strive still has plenty of DLC to keep it alive. And I know it's like, oh, DLC is usually the enemy, but in this case, in a fighting game's case, new characters coming out keeps a game alive. Like, look how long it kept Mortal Kombat alive. Just characters alone kept Mortal Kombat going for years. Same with Tekken. Tekken 7 has been out for, 7-8 years now? And it still has just a huge following, not only because it's Tekken, but because it just had years worth of characters. Heck, new characters coming out is what brought Street Fighter V back to life. So yeah, I feel like Guilty Gear probably has another 2 or 3 season passes left, so that could keep Guilty Gear Strive's community going for quite a while, especially the few days after each character comes out. I would say that's when Guilty Gear is most played. When any fighting game is most played is when a new character comes out for it. And lastly, because right now, I still feel like Guilty Gear Strive still has the best online on the market. It still has the best, smoothest, most playable netcode out of any other fighting game right now. Granted, I haven't played King of Fighters 15. I know that just came out. I haven't gotten to play it yet, so I can't tell you if that netcode is better, but I haven't heard anyone in particular praising it. So I would still argue Strive has the best online on the market right now. And it's still going to for a while. So, why do I want to talk about Street Fighter 6? If this is a Guilty Gear Strive channel, why do I want to talk about Street Fighter 6? Well, that is because Street Fighter started the modern fighting game. Street Fighter 2 started what fighting games are today, and I feel because of that, Street Fighter has always kind of had its finger on the vein of fighting games. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean that like Street Fighter and Capcom fighting games in general are a representation of where fighting games are on the market right now. And right now, fighting games are looking good. We got Guilty Gear Strive, Grand Blue Fantasy, DNF Duel, King of Fighters 15, and yeah, Street Fighter 6 was just announced. There is a crazy amount of fighting games coming out right now, and that is for good reason, because fighting games have become more profitable. Just look at Guilty Gear Strive. Guilty Gear Strive has outsold all the other Guilty Gear titles. Outsold them combined, I believe. Fighting games have just become so much more profitable lately, and companies like Capcom, like ArcSys, are jumping on that opportunity. And I'm just grateful to live in a time where fighting games are getting way more love again. So looking at the Street Fighter 6 trailer, it looks like Capcom is putting money into it, because fighting games are once again worth that kind of investment. And can I just say, I really like the look they're going for with this new Street Fighter. I know some people liked the more stylized watercolor look of Street Fighter 4 and 5, but I am loving the RE engine, more realistic looking characters. Despite the memes, I love the look of bearded and jacked Ryu. And yeah, I even like the Luke redesign as well. His face kind of reminds me of Nero from Devil May Cry. So I love the redesigns on that, and I love the more realistic looking graphics they're going for. The RE engine just creates fantastic looking games. I loved the look of it in 2 and 3 remake in Resident Evil, and I loved the look of it in Devil May Cry 5, so I have no doubt I'll love it in Street Fighter as well. To be honest, I was never that big a fan of the Street Fighter 4 and 5 graphic style. It was very stylized, but I didn't care for the look of the character models. They just had like a very clay look to them, very much like I was playing with Play-Doh characters. Ken's face in Street Fighter 5 being a prime example of that. There is something that appears from Street Fighter 4 and 5 in the trailer though. That little flash of color that wipes over each character, both Luke and Ryu, that wipes over them right before the trailer end. That's something I really want to talk about, because that's something interesting, and it tells me quite a few different things. The watercolor slide that happens over Luke is very colorful, and it reminds me of the V-trigger from Street Fighter V. When you activate it, it would do that same kind of watercolor, colorful flash over the character. For Ryu, however, it's more of a black and white, ink-colored flash that hovers over him. That reminds me a lot of the Street Fighter 4 mechanic. And my theory is that these mechanics from both 4 and 5, they're somehow going to merge them in Street Fighter 6. From the way it's framed, it even seems like the older characters like Ryu, Chun-Li, and Ken would get the Street Fighter 4 ink mechanic, while a new character like Luke would get the more Street Fighter V V-trigger mechanic. But I'm not so sure Capcom would separate their characters that severely. Maybe they'll combine the two mechanics somehow, like activating a V-trigger would give you that armor counter hit stance that the Street Fighter 4 mechanic had. Or maybe it's something entirely new, but I feel like they showed us those two very different flashes for a reason. Maybe, and this is my wildest dream, maybe we'll be able to choose which mechanic we want for our character. Do we want the Street Fighter 4 option, where we take a stance, take a hit, and get that counter hit for a sweet combo? Or do we want the Street Fighter 5 V-Trigger mechanic, where activating it allows us to continue a combo and gives us a new special ability? Maybe it's a combination of these two, maybe it's a choose your own. I'd be excited for either or. Heck, I'm just excited for this game in general. But that's really all I had to say for today. Thank you very much if you made it this far. Do you like the new voiceover, or do you like the more in-game commentary? Please leave a comment down below to let me know. And if you want to see more videos coming from this channel, please subscribe. I would love to see this channel grow, and I would love to see you become part of it. Have a good day, everyone.
Slap. You. Duel 2. Let's rock. Overload! 48 secret arc! Tempest Buster! Hammer! Intense finale! Slap! I did!